doing? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Sitting out here in the beautiful Midwest. It's finally not raining. We're rocking it out. Anyway, I want to talk about bariatric surgery and the good and the bad of it. Now, the good of it is if someone is really, really obese and they can't lose weight, well, you're cutting your stomach off. Okay, you're literally cutting your stomach or stapling a portion off or tying it off. So you're gonna have the chance to, well, not eat as much because you don't have as much space to put it. The thing I see wrong with that is, one, it's really not if you can't control the amount of food you eat, that is a huge issue. And obviously, you know it's a huge issue if you're getting your stomach lopped off, which is extremely scary. And I mean, that's just a very, very, very invasive surgery. Now, look into it like this. When you have your stomach cut, you're not allowed to eat certain amounts of food. Now, if you're at a point, if you eat certain foods that make you obese, what's gonna happen is, well, you're gonna eat those foods anyway, just less of them. So what I've found, I've heard a lot of people, in fact, one of my wife's friends had this happen to her. She had the surgery, she had bariatric surgery, and what happened? She's literally in the hospital now from malnourishment and being extremely ill due to the fact that she kept up her eating habits that put her there in the first place, which is eating foods that are lacking nutrients and foods that are extremely bad for you. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of bariatric surgery. While I do feel that obesity is an issue, I feel that it's something we need to cure before cutting open someone's stomach and cutting off part of their stomach and sewing it up or stapling it shut. It's a very extreme surgery used in very extreme cases. However, I've seen people who aren't extremely obese get this done just to lose weight. And I don't think they know the long-term ramifications of cutting your stomach. I mean, that's just a disgusting thing. So what I want to look at is, as a society, if perhaps we can look into some kind of psychological treatments that would help. I mean, obviously it's from a very, very, very poor relationship with food. Now, we have an issue here where obesity isn't necessarily seen as an eating disorder, but obesity in and of itself is an eating disorder because you're unable to stop eating to the point where you become obese. That is an eating disorder in and of itself. We almost situate bulimia, anorexia, and other eating disorders, orthorexia, whatever, into this little playing field over here, whereas obesity is labeled as a disease. Now, I'm not going to debate. I've already done a video on if being overweight is a disease. I personally don't think it's a disease, and I think it's an insult to people with real diseases like cancer and cystic fibrosis who actually didn't bring it onto themselves. Yes, obesity is brought on yourself. You have to put the food in your mouth. Unless you have an extreme thyroid condition, which I've never seen to that level, that can't be treated via medical intervention, I really don't think it's a disease. I don't feel it should be labeled a disease. I actually saw a billboard driving through Chicago, obesity is a disease, and I beg to differ. But that's besides the point. What I'm getting at is obesity and the dangers of gastric bypass surgery. Now, if you do have gastric bypass, I just want to put some things forth. One is get a good green supplement because you're not going to be able to eat the fibrous. Think about it. If your stomach's this big, you know, even if you're a guy like me or who has a good stomach volume, it's hard to eat that much broccoli, spinach, kale, very nutrient-dense foods. Get a good greens powder. Get a good whey protein isolate or concentrate, whatever you could deal with better. Isolate might work better because you only have so much stomach space. But the main thing you want to look at is getting adequate micronutrients into your system and getting adequate protein and essential fats, the essentials, essential aminos, essential proteins, and micronutrients to keep you from getting those issues, which again are severe undernourishment, malnourishment that can lead you in the hospital, and I've seen it kill people. I've heard stories of people dying from malnourishment from gastric bypass. So don't look at gastric bypass as a way to lose weight or a long-term weight loss plan. Gastric bypass is for the extreme case where you're so mentally at odds with food that you just can't put the Twinkie down. And that happens. Food is an addiction. Anything that elicits a positive or negative response can create an addiction. So all I'm saying is, before you recommend or before you think of getting gastric bypass, please, please, please look at the benefits and the negatives. A lot of people look at weight loss, but at the end of the day, if you can't fit veggies in your stomach, you might get malnourished. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Well, I'm not even gonna make up a line for this because this is meant to help. That's not a game.